Hey everyone, good morning. Hopefully you're feeling great this morning. If not, hopefully after this practice, you will feel ready to tackle your day. We're gonna get started sitting on our bums. So go ahead and find the sits bones. And if you need to, go ahead and sit on a blanket to help elevate the hips if sitting flat on the floor is uncomfortable for you. Sometimes elevating the hips by sitting on a blanket can do wonders. All right, take a deep inhale here with me. Open the mouth. Try to settle in here. Maybe close the eyes. Then allow the breath to be whatever it wants to be. Notice if you have tension in the glutes or the shoulders, maybe between the eyes. Try to let all that go. And trying really hard to tune in to your breath. Feeling the expansion of your chest and belly on your inhale. Feeling it all come back down on the exhale. If you would like to set an intention for your practice, you can start to think of that now. And if you come up with something, repeat it to yourself a couple of times. All right, friends, we're going to take 3 deep inhales and 3 audible exhales. So open the mouth when you're ready to exhale. Here we go. All right, friends, here we go. Open those eyes if they're not already, and then reach those arms up. Big inhale. Exhale, we're going to pull those elbows down. No spaghetti arms. Pull the elbows down. Push the chest forward. Eyes are looking up. Inhale, reach high. Again, palms face each other. Exhale, pull those elbows down. Look up. One more time. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, elbows down, palms face outward. Good. Stack the hands to the knees, stack your spine, a little distracted by this feline. All right, take an inhale right here. And then exhale, round the spine, coming into seated cat pose. Rock your head side to side here. Feel what's going on in the neck. Lord have mercy. Keep breathing. When you're ready to inhale again, we're going to straighten out the neck. Come into seated cow pose. Here is your inhale. I'm going to stay here, but I want you to keep breathing. One more inhale. On the exhale, come into your seated cat pose. Fitting, baby boy. Come on now. Inhale, cow. Wouldn't it be funny right now if a cow walked into the shop? All right, last time, exhale. Seated cat pose. Maybe I can work that out. We're in a cow for a day. Come back to cow. Last one, I promise. Hold 3, 2, 1. Straighten out your spine. All right, I want you to think of your torso as a spoon, and we're going to start to stir. One thing I want you to try to think of is taking your left shoulder over to your right knee, hinging at your hips, and then sweeping yourself forward. When you're ready to come up, round the spine, chin to chest, and repeat. As you move forward, straighten out the spine. Moving backwards, rounding the spine. And so we stir. I always think of chocolate when I'm doing this. Think of stirring a nice giant pot of melted chocolate. All right, here we go. We're going to reverse our direction. Remember, rounding as you go back. Might feel a little different going in the opposite direction. Maybe. Maybe not. Guys, now I really want a pet cow. All right, 2 more. When I was younger, we lived next to a small pasture, excuse me. All right, roll those shoulders. Your spine is stacked. Roll the shoulders. And there was this young gray cow I became friends with, and it would come up to me, and it was my introduction to knowing that cows' tongues are really coarse. You think a cat's tongue is coarse. Well, cows' tongues are way coarser. Okay, roll the shoulders forward. I loved that cow. One more time. All right, hands to your knees, please. Dropping the shoulder again over here, but this time this elbow is going to flare out. So shoulder drops, elbow flares out, spin the fingers in toward the belly. That's key. Fingers need to spin toward the belly. You're looking over your right shoulder and then come back up to center. All right, opposite side. Spin the fingers in, drop the shoulder, elbow flares out. Look over the, what is that? Your left shoulder. And back to center. All right, inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hands to heart center. A moment of gratitude here, guys, for you, your practice, for each other, for our Creator. Lovely. Go ahead, drop those hands. It's so important sometimes to be still and consider what there is to be grateful for, especially when things are hard and stuff is going on that you have no control over. There's always something to be grateful for. I like to say that even if it's just your toothbrush, you can be grateful for that. All right, coming down to our mat on our back at first. Come on down. We're gonna bring those knees into the chest. Hug them in. You can rock side to side, or if you prefer to be still, that's fine as well. And the bigger you rock, the more real estate you're getting there on those hips and glutes. All right. Preparing for a supine twist, we are going to take those arms, open up to the letter T. Make sure you're not going to spill anything. Usually I'm spilling something. Let those knees come over here to the right and turn your head to the left. If you need to put something, a pillow or something underneath the bottom knee or between the knees, that's perfectly okay. If your left arm is hovering in space and not making contact with the floor, please put something underneath it to support it. Decide if you want your head to go left or right. Take an inhale. We're going to bring ourselves back into alignment on the mat. When you're ready to exhale, you're taking your knees over to the other side. You're turning your head to the right if your neck will allow. Try to relax again if you need to put something between the knees, under the knees, that's fine. Don't forget about your arm. We want to receive our stretch, not do the stretch. All right, we're going to take an inhale here. Bring everything back into alignment on the mat. And then exhale, bring those feet down. We're going to roll over all the way onto the belly. So find your way over onto the belly. And we're taking the cheek to the floor. It doesn't matter which way. Turn the palms up and allow the head, again, doesn't matter which side, we're going to do both. The head to come down, cheek sideways. Let the shoulders drape forward. Maybe close the eyes. Allow the mouth to open. Shake out those glutes. Make sure there's no tightness or tension there. I'll call for you to turn your head in a little bit. And go ahead now, if you would like, turn your head over to the other side. And as you come down, make sure the glutes don't hide any tension there or pick up any tightness. Try to let those shoulders drape forward and relax. All right, friends, inhale. Bring those arms in front beside your chest. We're pushing ourselves up into child's pose. And I would like to give you the option to use your bolster or not. If you don't want the bolster at all, that's fine as well. If you do want the bolster, know that you have the option to also use the blocks with it. Stacking the bolster up on blocks allows for you to relax those hips a little bit more. Take your cheek to the side. You decide what's going to work for you. And try to relax. If the legs are uncomfortable, you can sit a rolled up blanket underneath the glutes. That might provide a little bit more comfort for you. I will offer you the option, or the opportunity, I should say, to turn your cheek to the other side. Settling in and trying to find stillness and peace. Nothing to do here but breathe. If you'd like now, turn your cheek over to the other side. Settling back in, making sure there's no tightness that wants to stick around. All right, friends, inhale, press yourself up. And we're going to scoot the bolster a little bit further down to give us some room. Coming to our hands and knees. If the knees need some cushion underneath, don't hesitate to put something there, like a rolled up or a folded blanket, that's fine. I'm just gonna take the toes back, just rock back and forth, back and forth. Stretching out that calf muscle. Dropping that knee, taking the other one back. Hopefully this feels good on those legs after being bent. All right. Here we are, take that knee down, and we're gonna find ourselves on our hip. Like I am on my right hip, so you might wanna be on your left. We're gonna do both sides, so it doesn't necessarily matter. I do want you to make sure that the legs, I want you to pay close attention to your shin bones. I want you to see if you can get those shin bones parallel to the long end of your mat and to the short end of your mat. And I want this bolster to come right up against the hip. You are welcome to keep it elevated like so, or you can lie it completely flat on the ground, or you cannot use a bolster at all if that's what you prefer. So we're spinning toward the bolster, very familiar in our classes here, walking ourselves down, and we're going to rest the cheek on the bolster. Belly, chest, and cheek come to rest. And I want you to decide which direction you want your cheek to face or your head to face. You can spin your head over as long as the neck allows. Trying to relax as best you can. No tightness in those hips. If you would like, you've tried it high and you want to go low, by all means, you can do so. It's your class, your practice. Lift yourself up, inhale. Push yourself up so that your hips and shoulders are in line. So you're spinning forward again. We're gonna lean away from the bolster, so away. We're gonna take the hand that's nearest the bolster, we're reaching up and leaning away from your big pillow, whatever you might be using over there. Try to rotate that top shoulder to 12 o'clock and maybe look up. 3, 2, reach long through the fingers. 1. Now take your chin, look to the floor if your neck will allow you to. 3, 2, and 1. All right, stack the shoulders. You're facing forward, hands to the floor. Take an inhale. On your exhale, hinge at the hips. Try to keep your back flat. Just go until you feel a lovely little stretch. Won't be here for too long. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come up. Okay, so you have the option to just spin on your bottom so that we can come against the other side, or you can move your bolster to the other side of your mat so that you can continue to face the screen. It's up to you. Now decide if you're gonna want that bolster to be propped up again, whether it's on blocks or extra pillows, or maybe you don't want it to be propped up at all, or maybe you don't want a bolster at all. You want the belly and the chest and the cheek all the way to the floor. All right, make sure that the legs parallel to the edges of your mat. Feet are sideways. We're turning now to the bolster. You're gonna walk yourself down, belly, chest, cheek, come to rest. And again, decide which direction you want your head to face. Try to soften the elbows, no weight there. If your mind wanders, bring it back to your breath. Or if you set an intention at the beginning of practice, you can come back to that now. All right, friends, inhale, press yourself up. You're turning your shoulders forward so that they are over the hips. Now remember, we're leaning away from the bolster, so take the arm that's nearest your bolster, reach up. And when you're ready to exhale, hinge, lean, tilt, reach through those fingers. Take your eyes, look up, roll that shoulder back. If everything allows you to, don't force it. Keep reaching, holding, 3, 2, 1. All right, turning your head now toward the floor. 3, 2, and 1. Come up, shoulders stacked over those hips. Take an inhale, hands to the floor. You know what's next. Fold forward, hinging at those hips. Notice where you feel it. It's good to be in tune with the body. Maybe you don't feel it at all. 3, 2, and 1. Come back up. All right, briefly, we're coming into seated wide angle. We can also use the bolster, whether you want it on the floor or again propped up with those blocks, and you can just kind of hug the bolster like so. You can also have it down, elbows to the bolster, belly to the bolster. You guys decide. But I do want those legs to be wide, and if you find that it's difficult for you to have legs out both at the same time, I'm going to take one in. Same thing, we can still use that bolster, prop it up, hug it. If we're really tight, Hakuna Matata, stack the bolster like so, rest the forehead. All good. No judgment, no criticism, everybody's body is different. We're going to go to what feels good for us because that's why we're here, right? We're not here for anyone else but ourselves. All right, and this is a restorative practice, so I want you to feel restored, loved, and rejuvenated after class. So make this your own. Okay, we're going to settle in for a few breaths, and I will call for a switching of legs for those who may have their legs bent. Wherever you are, try to relax. All right, my friends. If you have one cheek to the bolster, go ahead and turn it over. If you have one leg bent, you can alternate now. Coming back down, settling in, getting comfortable, and doing our best to receive our stretch. All right, inhale. Come on up. And everybody, I want you to take both legs in for Baddha Konasana. And feet are going to touch. And if the hips are tight, we're taking the feet further away from us. If the hips are loosey-goosey, we're bringing the feet in. We're going to interlace the fingers and scoop the toes up if we can. If not, we're just going to hang on to those shin bones. Hakuna Matata, no big deal. All right, here we go. Inhale. Then exhale, hinging at your hips. And once you find your edge, as you fold forward, flat back, we're going to allow the head to drop. Holding and breathing for 10. A very slow 10. 8. 5, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're rolling the spine up. So allow the spine to round, rolling, rolling, rolling up. Head is the last to lift. You're going to feel a little stretch there in the neck. Try to sit up tall. And welcome back. All right, my friends. Taking the bolster now, we're going to turn it horizontal in the middle of your mat. And then I want you, remember, whatever you do in this class, in any class, whether it's mine or someone else's, whether you're home or anywhere else, you don't have to be graceful. You don't have to be like a ballerina, like moving along the mat, right? That's not what yoga is. All right, so I say that because I want you to sit on the bolster. And if you find that it's difficult to do so, just take your time, give yourself some grace. It's all good. Nobody's going to be judging you, right? Nobody cares. Once you're able to sit on the bolster, I'm going to tell you what's next. We're going to recline backward. I don't want you to be scared because you are strong and powerful. Your hands are going to guide you, and you're going to lie flat on the back. I want you to keep those knees bent because sometimes the low back doesn't like this. Once we come back, or even if you already know that this isn't going to work for your low back, get off the bolster and use a rolled up blanket instead. Okay, so come on back. Remember, you are amazing, strong, incredible. You can do this. I want you to make sure that the bolster stays under the bum, not the back, not the thighs, the bum, all right? So you might need to shift yourself around. It's all good. But come on down to the mat. And I want you to make sure bolster is not too far under the low back or too low under the thighs. Notice where it is on me. I want it to be the same for you. Okay, so we're going to take the left leg, straighten it out. If that feels okay for the low back, fantastic. We're going to bend the left knee. We're going to straighten the right leg. And if that feels fantastic, good, stay there. If this doesn't feel good, we're going to keep one knee bent, or if even one knee bent doesn't feel good, we're going to bend both knees, okay? Or get off the bolster and use a rolled up blanket. Lots of different options, trying to give you them all. Option here is to extend both legs, but only if the low back will be comfortable. Doing so is stretching the longest muscles in the body, even if one leg is bent and one leg is straight. So the straight legs are getting that extension in that psoas muscle that goes all the way into sort of the belly down to the thighs. All right, notice how your arms are. I want them to be relaxed, palms up, and I want those legs, those glutes to be soft. If legs are bent, I will call for you to alternate them here in a little bit. Maybe close the eyes, maybe open the mouth. If you have one knee bent, you can alternate now. All right, we're going to enter into what I call playtime. Bend those knees. Find your hands on the bolster and maybe scoot it under a tiny bit more toward your low back. And we're going to let the legs lift into the air. And if the bolster wants to scoot out from underneath you some more, go ahead and bring it back under you. It likes to travel sometimes. All right, with your legs up in the air, you can have them bent, you can have them straight, you can come into happy baby, you can do whatever you'd like that's gonna feel good for you. That's why we call it playtime. Also how I like to say we can find positions, movements, muscles. We can explore our practice and maybe fall in love with something new that feels good. Whatever you're choosing to do here, make sure you're still breathing. Sometimes we hold the breath and we don't even realize it. And if your legs are up in the air and you're like, what the heck are we doing? I don't want to do playtime. That's fine. You can just be stationary. Roll out ankles, open tweeze toes, or just be completely still. You have about 10 more seconds. All right, dear friends, bring the feet to the floor. And we are going to dig the heels into the mat and we're going to lift the hips up and slide the bolster out from underneath us. Hips go up, bolster moves out from underneath us. And we come back to the mat on our back. We're going to hug the knees in. That should feel nice. And rock side to side. Good. We're going to come back to being still and we're taking the right leg straight. With the left leg hugged in, I want you to use your right hand, start to pull the left leg over. Your left hand does nothing. Your hip is going to lift up. I want you to maybe turn your head away from that knee. If you need to prop underneath that knee or that left arm, by all means, grab something. Inhale, come back up. Your back is flat. Figure 4 will be next. So bend the right knee. Your left ankle goes over the right knee. Option 1 is to stay here and press the knee toward the end of your mat. Option 2 is to lift the legs up and your hands go under that right thigh. Flex the toes back and you can press that knee joint or that thigh area, with your elbow. Try to stay away from that knee joint. And go ahead and relax. Feet down. We're extending now the left leg. We're going to hug in the right. Interlace those fingers, pull that knee up. Now using your left hand, your right hand is going to drop, does nothing. Pull that leg over to the opposite side. Turn your eyes toward the right if that's comfortable. Use props for this arm if it's hovering in space, or prop under this leg if you would like. Try to settle in and relax. Taking an inhale, find your way back to your mat. Figure 4 will be next, so we're bending both knees. I want you to find your right ankle and place it on top of your left knee. Option 1 is to stay here and manually, actively press this right knee toward the end of your mat. Or if you would like a more traditional figure 4, lift those legs up and hands go under the the left thigh. So not the leg that's sideways, the other leg. I was trying so hard to get that right and then I messed it up. Hopefully I didn't confuse you. All right, friends, wherever you are, bring those feet down to the mat. We're going to take the legs long and arms overhead. We're inhaling here for a full body stretch. Doesn't that feel nice? Okay, find your bolster, and I'm going to offer this up to you. I realize that this may not feel very comforting to some people, and if that's the case for you, Hakuna Matata, it's all good. Your class, your practice, you don't have to do this. If you'd like, grab your bolster or a weighted blanket and put it on top of you, and if it starts to wobble, that's fine. You're just going to place your hands on it to stabilize it. We're going to take a deep inhale. And we're going to exhale. We're going to try and relax here. However, if having this on top of your belly becomes bothersome or uncomfortable in any way, just take it off and just lie flat and still get a good benefit. You would just be coming into an early Shavasana. All right, here we are, relaxing the jaw, the eyes, shoulders, the hips, all the way down to the toes. Taking an inhale to prepare for a transition. Exhale. For your resting angel or Shavasana, the last resting pose for today, you can totally keep the bolster on the belly. Or if you would like, you can slide that bolster down underneath those legs, supporting the thighs, the knees, giving yourself good support under those legs. Then bring those arms down, palms up if you would like. Close the eyes, open the mouth. Nothing to do here but breathe. Every pore, every muscle, every joint surrenders to your mat. You can begin now to deepen your breath, using your breath as a guide back to your body. Begin to bring movement back to your body, big or small. If the bolster is still on top, you can move it off to the side. When you feel complete here, roll over to your side and snuggle up. Practice is not quite yet over. Go ahead, snuggle up, curl into a little ball. Maybe consider what, if anything, has shifted for you in your practice. Offering up some gratitude for yourself, some grace for yourself, and most definitely some love. When you're ready, friends, come on up to a seated position. Hopefully you're feeling good. All right, pull those shoulders back over those hips. We're just going to do one little neck roll, drop the chin to the chest, and move that head over one side and then the other. Remind yourself, nobody could take your place. Nobody could do what you do as well as you do it. All right, sitting up tall, chin is lifted. Final breath, inhale, sweep those arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. May you know you are wonderfully made, madly loved, you are divinely purposed. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. I know you have choices. Namaste. All right, guys, I'll see my regulars back in class. Otherwise, if you're online from some other part of the country, hello, welcome, and I hope you come back.